Hey, what's up, everyone? You're currently tuned into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara and netnetradio.com, Tijuana. Today, Lia Talk and I are joined by Chicago cellist and multidisciplinary maverick Lia Kohl. How you doing, Lia?
Good. How are you?
We're doing well.
Oh yeah, we're doing well.
So Lia, beyond music and stuff, like what have you been up to in 2022? Have you amassed any new hobbies, morning routines, favorite coffee shops, weird habits, odd jobs?
Oh, wow. Well, my partner and I moved into a new house last July, which seems like a long time ago, but actually for getting settled in a new spot, it's kind of recent.
That's still pretty recent, yeah.
A lot of, like,
it's a 6-month process.
Yeah,
it really is. I think I'm surprised by how long it's taking to kind of feel really settled. But so I'm doing a lot of kind of home nesting and stuff.
That's cool.
I'm also really inspired by winter. I'm a Californian, so winter is learned activity, but I do feel I feel a lot more like artistic inspiration in the winter. I think it's something about being inside and looking out.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess like anything else that you picked up, like I don't know, anything random.
You mentioned coffee. I did find a new coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
So what's a new coffee shop?
What's it called? What's it called?
It's called Necessary and Sufficient Coffee.
That is such a cool
I literally
name.
Found it like on Google Maps and I was like, I like that name. I'm going to go there.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm going to go.
Is it that kind of utilitarian, just no frills?
No, it's like hella bougie.
Oh, that's sick.
But
that's cool.
It's a tongue-in-cheek thing.
So what's your go-to order? Like what do you get like when you go into what's the place like necessary
and sufficient?
Necessary and sufficient. What's your go-to order?
Okay, they have a thing called a professional Pop-Tart.
Wow,
which is like a fancy Pop-Tart.
That's sick.
So I get that and I get a small coffee because their small coffee's under $2.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't think that's something I've ever experienced.
Chicagoans.
Yeah, wow.
If you're in Chicago, go there.
I'm gonna have to go to Necessary and Sufficient, and
next time I come back out, I'm going there.
Yeah,
that is so cool. Wait, so the what's it called? An adult Pop-Tart? You said
professional Pop-Tart. I have no idea why it's professional. It involves puff pastry, which seems kind of professional to me. I don't know.
That's cool. So do they like bake it themselves? I'm guessing it'd be kind of funny if they're just like, if they're like, this is a professional Pop-Tart and then they just give you like a Pop-Tart or something like that. They're like, no, this is a toaster strudel. Yeah.
Literally professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been like playing shows and stuff again?
Yeah. I mean, of course, recently, every time you play a show, it feels like a big treat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah, I have been playing a lot of shows, playing out solo a little bit more.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is a new thing for me and actually feels really good.
That's cool.
I wasn't sure if it was going to feel good or not, but it's been really fun.
That's awesome. Where have you been playing? Like where's the scene at right now for you guys?
Let's see. I played on Sunday at the Empty Bottle.
Oh, nice.
Like a rock venue here.
I've been there when we talked with another individual who got married there.
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah.
I think, what was it? I saw Luggage and Facts there back in July. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Yeah, it's fun. I do feel like I wonder if you have this experience there, but there is kind of a different vibe at shows recently. Thinking about the Bottle specifically, like it used to be a really loud place.
Yeah.
And you would play there and like maybe there would be some people talking in the back and it was kind of rowdy and I think this is indicative of a kind of a larger trend, but it does feel the last few times I played there, like people are real quiet. They're here to like listen to music and like, get a drink at the bar, but like they're really there for it, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too, especially like even in like punk shows and stuff too that I've been going to. It's like before, like you would be lucky to get like, I don't know, a good handful of people that were actually there to like see the music and stuff, I guess, but now it's like, I don't know, everybody's so into it. Like I had a show on Friday with like a bunch of like friends bands and stuff. And that was hands down the craziest show that I've ever like hosted or anything. And it was just like so many people were into it and stuff. And I was like, we had it in like a little barbershop, like my friend Junior.
So
It's cool. Yeah. My friend Junior, he's like, I want to make my barbershop like a community space. And I'm like, let's do it, man.
Yes.
So
yes, I love that.
Exactly. That's what we've been doing. And, like we usually get good little crowds, but like, as I'm just like talking to everybody coming to the door and stuff, next thing I know, I'm just like, oh my God, the entire block is packed right now and everybody wants to go in, but they can't fit. And yeah, it was sick. Yeah, it was cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And like
So good.
people were like walking out and telling me like, dude, this is the best show I've ever been to. And I'm just like, wow, do people like miss this? Like this is crazy,
Yeah. And it's also real. Like I think it's not just like, oh, I missed it. And so now I love it. It's like people are genuinely in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They want to be present in their lives. And
Exactly.
I feel that way too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know. Music is such a crazy thing. And I feel like it was like, I don't know, almost shows not happening and stuff kind of like help people reset and learn to like not take that stuff like for granted and like really appreciate being able to like see this like form of art like in person and stuff and like be involved in something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think also, I mean, as a performer, I feel like I didn't my coping mechanism was kind of to feel like, oh, it's fine. Like I can make recordings. I can like collaborate with people on Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And going back to shows, I realized like it wasn't fine.
Yeah.
I actually do. We all need to perform. That's like human interaction is necessary.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
What's happening.
I was trying to do like, what is it? Those like live stream shows for just like people around and stuff too in the beginning. And you could tell that like, it just wasn't like people needed that interaction, especially the artist too. Cause like, I don't know, it just wasn't the same, and it's like, yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were saying, but anyways, I guess like, could you shine some light on like your formative music moments and like inspiration? Like you're currently Chicago based, though I know you were saying you're from like NorCal and stuff. Like what was it like getting into music and stuff when you were in, I guess, Northern California and everything?
Well, so I'm a cellist.
Yeah.
Which means that for me, it means that I studied classical music for many, many years.
Yeah.
I love classical music. I love playing string quartets.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of my musical formation, sort of technically was like studying cello. I started playing when I was 8.
Wow.
In youth orchestra.
That's cool.
And I went to like a high school for people who were really into playing music.
That's sick. That's cool.
And then I went to music school. So I have like that kind of really formal training. I also come from a church tradition that's I'm Orthodox Christian. I come from it's like a very rich musical tradition.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
An oral tradition too. So there's like I have a lot of sort of the opposite of being a classical musician who's like very involved in score reading. I also have a lot of training in that.
That's cool.
In church.
Yeah.
Which I think I didn't realize was so formative until later on when I was improvising. And then I was like, oh, my ear comes also from that. And both my parents are musicians.
What do they play?
My mom is a singer.
Okay, that's sick.
She plays the piano and she recently took up the harp, which I think is
oh wow, that's
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harps are sick.
That's cool.
I also think it's just so cool when people are like, I've always wanted to do this thing and I don't care that like I'm older.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's always sick. When someone picks up a new hobby and they're older, it's like, hell yeah, I get it. Like why do you have to be young to pick up something new, Yeah.
She loves the harp. It's so cool.
Do you ever play with your parents? Sorry to interrupt you.
My dad is a bass player.
Oh, that's sick.
He's an amazing bass player. He always asks me when I'm going to graduate with bass. Although recently he stopped asking me that, which I feel like is a milestone for us.
Heck yeah, that's sick.
Is it because you're doing solo works now? Is that it?
Maybe. I don't know. They're both really, really supportive.
That's cool. So would you ever like play music with them? Like I don't know.
I've played a little bit with my mom. I mean, we're talking about formative musical moments. Like I learned how to be a musician from my mom, singing with her, and yeah,
that's sick.
So yeah, I haven't done a lot professionally with them. I think that's kind of a hard one.
Yeah.
You know, those relationships are so complex.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I feel like sort of turning off the part that's, you know, parent-child and being like, this is what I want artistically can be.
It would definitely be a weird thing to collaborate with a parent in that way. You know, like I feel like even I would have a hard time because I don't know, it's just your parents, you know, it's like different when you're just like with friends, you like feel like a lot more free to just like explore stuff that you want to do. I don't know, artistically or whatever. And
totally.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't, you know, we're both adults. We're all adults now.
Yeah, of course.
But I'll never not be their child.
Yeah, exactly.
There never won't be some kind of hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in all the respect that exists.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll get there. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
The Kohl trio or something. I don't know.
Some people have family bands, and I mean, maybe it works great.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So I guess like, how did you? Because you know, you came from like, I guess like an orchestra background. I don't know, more like fine art. I would say. I don't really know how to class. Yeah, classical music and stuff.
Christian oral tradition. It's a tight background. What music was played in the house? Was it all ECM in Windham Hill?
There was a lot of ECM, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick, actually.
Yeah. But also, oh gosh, I mean, I think once I got into classical music, like I really loved classical music. It wasn't just like what I was studying, and I think that really affected my mom. And I grew up with my mom. We would listen to classical music together. Gosh, what else did we listen to? We had a tape of Graceland in the car.
Oh, who doesn't?
Sick.
Who doesn't have that?
And I remember like really long car trips down to LA actually.
Oh, nice.
To visit my grandparents.
Yeah.
Everyone's got.
There you go. That's the one.
You have to, dude.
They've got it. They know. There you go. What else did we listen to? I remember dancing really hard to Pat Metheny.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's just pull those out just on the other side. Yeah,
there you go.
I've recently really come around to Pat's stuff. I was really shocked. I
honestly haven't listened to it since I was like 6 years old, but I remember being so into it. We saw him at the Greek Theater.
Oh, really? That's sick. That's so cool, actually.
Yeah, wow. I just remembered that now.
Whoa.
So I guess like, how did you, I don't know, transition to like the more like DIY? Like I know that there's like some crossover, especially in like, I don't know, this like experimental scene or whatever you want to call it. But like, how did you like start getting more involved in like that scene?
When I moved to Chicago, I was living in New York for a couple of years, studying with someone there. I moved to Chicago and I met this dancer. And I think I had it in my mind that I wanted to do more sort of multidisciplinary work. But not, I don't know, I just kind of had a notion about it.
Yeah.
But I started working with this dancer and then improvising with some other dancers. And I think that was kind of my first introduction into improvisation.
I see. Okay. So how'd you get involved in like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Just actually not with other musicians at first. It was first a movement thing. And I think that's partly what made me feel so free. Because there weren't other musicians kind of looking at me and being like, oh, what are you doing? Is it cool musically? It was just dancers being like, wow, the cello is amazing. Like literally you can make any sound and I'm going to think that it's cool.
Yes.
So there was a lot of openness there.
Yeah.
And then also playing contemporary music, so like quote unquote new music. The Chicago scene was really rich at the time with people who are playing contemporary classical music.
Oh,
which
okay.
kind of interacts really interestingly with improvisation and experimental music.
And then I guess like you also got involved in like, I guess like studio recording, I don't know, with like other bands and whatnot that are like sort of indie, I guess you would say. Like, how did you like fall into that as well? Like,
I mean, the scenes are all kind of connected in that way.
Yeah.
It was first through my friend Macie Stewart, who's also an improviser. But she plays with an amazing rock band OHMME.
Oh yeah.
Love that. They're good. And the Astral Spirits tape you guys have, I don't have it in front of me. I never got it. It's just, that's a lovely recording. And it's very
thank
funny.
you so much. Yeah, we have a lot of fun together. But she and I started playing together, like improvising in various groups, and she's very connected in that indie rock scene. So
that's cool.
I think that's the best way to start doing that, is if you have a friend who plays a different instrument.
Yeah.
Who can be like, I know a girl.
Yeah, you should check this person out. Yeah, I also want to ask too, before we like hop into like this next question, because I feel like it would lead in pretty well, but like, I don't know, how did you get involved in, I guess, like dancing and like doing like performing art and stuff like with your body and whatnot?
That was also through contemporary music.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I met a group of people who I'm now in an ensemble with.
Oh, nice.
Who were, they were really interested in contemporary music, and there's kind of a whole side of that academic music that's really interested in theater, sort of extra musical elements. And we started making a lot of work like that, and then it felt like the possibilities were endless, and I could do whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
That group is called Mock Rep. It's kind of a performance ensemble.
That's with Zachary, I forget, Good? Or yeah, okay, yeah. He messaged me on Instagram. He was hyped that we were doing this interview with you.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, I really like the was he also in the Honestly Same group that you did? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that record was also really good too. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's
a new group.
Yeah, that was fun.
New groups coming out.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask too, from what I was reading on like your website, you helped curate a show called 60 Songs in 60 Minutes. The link was broken, so I couldn't actually like read too much like about about it. Yeah. But was this part of like the shadow puppet stuff you're doing with Manual Cinema? Can you elaborate more on this? Sorry, I probably got that all wrong.
Oh no, you're doing great. So 60 Songs in 60 Minutes is a project with the Neo-Futurists.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know anything about that group?
No, we wanted to ask you about that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
They're this amazing Chicago theater group. They've been around for like 30 years. I think there are also chapters in New York and San Francisco.
Oh.
Okay.
But it's a very specific like form of practice of theater making. A neo-futurist would be better at explaining it, but from what I understand, it's about making really short plays, usually like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And they're all from life, so they're not acting or pretending. But they're making theater from their own lives. It's every time I go to a neo-futurist show, it's like a combination of like I always cry and I always laugh really hard.
Yeah,
it's really amazing. So they do this thing every week, and they like for the last 30 years, except during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Where they make 30 plays in 60 minutes and they perform them every week.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane. Like again, if you're ever in Chicago, like please go to the Neo-Futurists. It's amazing.
That sounds sick. Yeah.
So as an outgrowth of this practice, they started this show called 60 Songs in 60 Minutes.
I see.
Where and it's an ensemble of 2 Neo-Futurists and then 3 of us who are not part of the ensemble, but who are more music sort of focused.
Yeah.
And we make 61-minute songs, and it's really fun.
That's cool. So are you still doing that, by the way? That's still an ongoing thing?
It's a quarterly show. So during the pandemic, we pivoted online and we started releasing these albums on Bandcamp.
Oh my gosh.
Which they are so weird. Like as a person who makes really, really weird stuff, they are like really, really weird.
That's cool.
But again, it's this thing where like we would choose a theme. For example, one of the themes is combination X Taco Bell.
Yeah.
As in like combination Pizza Hut Taco Bell, but like, for example, combination Gilles Deleuze Taco Bell, combination The Sun Taco Bell, combination Louis XIV Taco Bell. Those are all real tracks. And
that's sick.
We just wrote 60 songs that were on that theme. It's really strange.
That is so wild.
That theme, though, I mean, again, because when you're invoking the futurist there, you're invoking that kind of art of noise manifesto. You're invoking a lot of also just like radical out there sounds. So in a minute, how does that actually is it a radical, like, active sound, or is there like an actual pop sketch there, something that kind of comes? How does the songwriting work?
It's anything we want. So song is usually pretty loose. It usually means that there's like some music involved.
Yeah.
In the live show, there's more theater, obviously, because there can be more visual stuff. But in the albums, we were using sound collage. We were using we were writing 1-minute indie rock songs. We were
That's sick.
Yeah, doing like a cappella. It was really like, whatever you want to do is a song.
So how do you guys just like
make sound? It's a song.
How do you guys just like continue to come up with like ideas? Like, I feel like that's so much like music to come up with. Like,
it's you'd be surprised, if someone just gives you a prompt and the parameters are anything you want, you could do it too.
Yeah.
And you've got pals there.
True. That's true. Yeah.
Exactly. Pals help a lot.
I'm thinking there was this one individual who put out a cassette on Crash Cymbals last year, and he had done, before doing this tape, of generally like 2 to 3 minute kind of just strange washed up pop songs that he kept swapping his styles around. He had done that challenge of like writing 20 songs in a day. And to me, I'm like, that looks intense, but I don't know, just thinking about this with a lot of people there, I could see how that could be endless. Totally.
Yeah. Collaboration always helps me.
I wanted to ask too, you toured with like Manual Cinema. Can you like talk a little bit more about that?
Oh yeah. Manual Cinema is awesome. They're a Chicago-based theater company that makes like shadow puppetry.
Okay.
And the shadow puppetry is accompanied by live music. And I tour with them much more as a performer than as like a creator.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I play cello in the band.
Yeah.
One of the most fun things about that is that we travel a lot. Like, we travel all over the world. I've been to some really cool places with them.
What's your favorite place you've been to do this?
China.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. When did you guys go to China?
We went in 2018.
Nice.
I think it was 2018.
That's cool.
Might have been 2017. I don't have a
Was
strong grasp of time right now.
Was there a specific region though? Or
we went all over. Actually, the coolest thing about that tour was that we were in 5 different cities. It was a month-long tour.
Oh my God.
So
wow.
Yeah. The food was amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Was there like a big audience for that out there too?
Honestly, yeah.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah. I think they have some support in terms of like booking and stuff.
I see.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, very powerful. Which I didn't have to do any of that. So I got to just eat cool food and wander around.
Eat cool food, perform, and just hang out in China and explore the country. That's sick. Maddie, do you want to take this next one?
I can go and start that for us. So, in regards though, just maybe moving outside of all of the music, looking through some of your other arts, you have often used space as a medium in your performances. And this includes like Water on the Bridge, where you're taking familiar objects such as a cello and you're bringing them to unfamiliar spaces, such as like a pool or even like Michigan. And then even like with the bread piece, as I guess Thomas and I are just kind of colloquially referring to that as, you're exploring space on a much more intimate level. Also with the acknowledgement of food, something that to me I've seen in at least 1 or 2 of your cassettes as kind of a thing that's there. But before we even talk about what's your fascination with food, what is your fascination with space? Thomas did study geography.
Oh yeah.
He loves it. He loves the concept in geographical terms. I studied film space. I look at it from a much different area. And then also with the tapes I review or stuff I do, I look at it kind of from like a high fidelity, where's this sound existing? So in that kind of deep listening practices, we're curious again, just like how you explore space in your art.
That's so interesting. I'm a very responsive person, which means that I'm a very responsive artist. So I feel really affected by space. You brought up the pool piece.
Yes.
All those cellos in the pool.
It looks incredible.
It felt incredible. that couldn't happen in another place.
Yeah.
Place and space have so much meaning too. Putting the cellos in a place that they quote unquote don't belong.
I have like another, I guess, like thing that I read that I was reading in an interview with like your project Mock Rep, and you said our aesthetic is grounded in the idea that any performance situation most importantly consists of humans in a space together, that our bodies, voices, and movements should all be as significant as the instrument objects that we use.
I think part of that exploration was also about moving away from feeling like an athlete or a practitioner of my instrument. And more like a real human who is allowed to be a body in space, and be affected by the space that I'm in. So yeah, I think that everything is. I do make things in response to where I actually am, or always want to make things that are in response to where I actually am. And sometimes that means putting myself in an unusual place, like a swimming pool. And sometimes that just means being present.
Anyways, I guess Maddie, should we move on to some music stuff?
I love music. Like I say. Let's do it.
We wanted to say like you collaborate with like so many people in like various outfits, as well as like contribute to like multiple bands and like projects and stuff. I guess like how do you like approach like collaborating and stuff? Like namely on like, I don't know, do you pronounce that ZRL?
Oh, we say Zurl.
Zurl?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. So like, on like Zurl with like Ryan Packard and Zachary Good. And you also just released your project like Honestly Same. I guess like how do you like approach like just different like collaborating like scenarios?
I really feel like we are different people with different people. If that makes sense. Like of course I have my own being, but I'm also like contained in the people who I'm with, and even more so if we're making art together. So trying to find those relationships that feel good in that space. Yeah. Like where it feels good that I'm contained in you. And that's really true of both of those bands that you mentioned. Working with Zach and Ryan, they were some of the first people that I ever improvised with.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's been really cool. It's been 8 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys.
And seeing those relationships grow. Yeah. As human relationships and also artistic relationships is really wonderful. And seeing how the me that is contained in Ryan and Zach changes and shifts is really exciting.
Yeah. I was going to say.
I don't like that. That's really beautiful. Seriously.
Cool.
I'm just thinking like, well, we're going to ask this other dumb question now.
Yeah.
No, it's a wonderful question.
Yeah. I also wanted to just like ask more about, or like ask you if you could like elaborate more on like Honestly Same, just like talk about like what the concept is behind it. Just cause like, I found it like when I started like listening to your work more, and I thought, I don't know, it's really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we started working together in last August.
Oh, nice.
And it's all people who like we've all worked together in some capacity. Sam, who plays like electronics, he's also a composer. He wrote some music for Mock Rep.
Oh, nice.
Obviously Zach Good is in Zurl. Zach Moore is also in Mock Rep. And Mabel Kwan she's a new music pianist. She's amazing. And we've all kind of worked with her in that capacity. So it's not like they're new relationships, but it's a new combination. And, it's been really fun to kind of find what that is. We do a lot of, we rehearse in Zach's studio, which is also a recording studio.
Oh,
Zach
nice.
Moore. And he records everything that we do. So we've done this really cool practice of actually getting together and rehearsing, improvising, which is unusual to me. I feel like most people are just like, oh, well, let's just get together.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Which is sick. I don't mean to use that voice like I'm making fun of that as a practice, but it is really cool to be like, no, let's develop this. Let's see what we want to make. And recording has been a cool part of that because we record and then we listen. And
because what I was reading from like the liner notes, at least, like this was a recording of like your practice or whatever, and you guys just decided to like put it out after a show was canceled or something like that.
Twice now we've tried to have our first live show, and COVID has first I got COVID during the first show.
And then, that's a bummer.
Yeah. And then Sam's wife got COVID, so we didn't want to risk it, you know? But we have our next show on next Tuesday.
Hopefully it goes down.
Yeah, we're like,
we'll see.
The charm.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Like we're hoping that Omicron 3 or whatever it is now doesn't cancel it again. Yeah, I don't know, whatever it is.
Speaking of someone though you have done live shows with Macie Stewart, and you've done that with you've had also 2 tapes on Astral Spirits. And I'm curious again about kind of the development of that relationship, and then also the titling and the logistical kind of track listing of recipe for boiled egg.
That is the title of the record.
Fantastic.
Macie and I became friends. Yeah, I think we were like playing in somebody's combo or something.
Yeah.
And just, you know, when you just meet someone, you're like, yes, you, please. We just really got along. And actually, the first record is a recording of the second time we ever played together.
Oh,
wow. That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. We have this kind of uncanny, like, intuitive thing that I don't think either of us can really explain, but it's remained exactly the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just know what she's gonna do. I don't know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like being somebody, like when people talk about their siblings or something.
Yeah, I was going to say that's crazy that like you guys kind of just like clicked like that, you know, and it's like, it's just like such a perfect like improvisational duo. I don't know. That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really fun to play with her. And we do a lot of string work together on people's albums. So that's kind of a fun.
Nice.
Speaking of that, in regards to contributing, I've got in front of me my Claire Rose CD, and I've also got the Circuit des Yeux tape. And
cool.
I had not until I think like May or April of last year did I even realize you were on this, just chilling on the third track, a beautiful track. And how do you look at the kind of, maybe not collaborative stuff there, but the contribution to that? Like both of those also, I feel like are markedly different experiences, because did you like talk and get to really like one-on-one with Haley when she was working on those songs versus like, was it kind of with Claire, she was sending you a series of like synthesizers or kind of samples or things that you were adding on top?
A lot of times recently it's someone sort of knows how I play and will send me their track and be like, this is the vibe that I want, you know?
Yeah.
Or like literally do anything you want. And
that's sick.
They'll take what they like from it, which is that's a fun way to work. With Haley on that record, she had parts. She works a lot with Whitney Johnson, who's another person I play with. Who's a violist.
Oh, nice.
So I think Whitney wrote a lot of those parts. That was a little bit more like I performed that music.
I see.
And with Claire, at first she just wanted some droney stuff, and then she really liked what I did, and then said, "Can you just improvise on this other track?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just me improvising. And yeah, I love working with Claire. I think she's really amazing. And I think we're gonna keep working together.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can we air that part?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sick. Well, yeah, stoked to see what you guys come out with. That's awesome.
We're excited for the Astral Spirits tape that you just signaled it's gonna happen. But yeah, no, I mean, thank you for that.
Yeah, I also wanted to say too, in like you have a new record coming out called Too Small to Be a Plane. Sorry, Too Small to Be a Plane. I almost said pain.
That'll be the second release.
Yeah, right.
Too Small to Be a Pain.
Too Small to Be a Pain. In like I guess like the liner notes, it was written that this is kind of like your first like solo record that you're putting out, and like this is like the first like, I don't know, time you started, or like you just started to like sort of like explore like recording solo or like performing solo and stuff. Do you want to like talk more about that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're talking a lot about being responsive. So it is a really new thing to me to not have anyone else to respond to, but to sort of create those opportunities within myself. See how many people I can make out of myself and then play.
Yeah. Because I was
it's been sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, even like the live performance that you like sent us or whatever, it's like, you know, me and Maddie were both just like listening to the recording, and then we watched the video afterwards. And like I texted Maddie, I was like, yo, dude, she's playing these synths with her feet. Like, this is sick, dude. Yeah. I don't know. It was cool. So
you gotta use what you have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's sick.
Including your feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing solo is, I mean, it's partly out of necessity. You know? The pandemic, I think, did that to a lot of people. You have to keep making stuff because that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But I also did have it in my mind already to try to make time to make something for myself and see, like, well, who am I when I'm just in a room by myself?
Yeah.
What's my sense of time? What do I gravitate towards? Almost as like an exercise in self-knowledge.
It was also fascinating to hear the recording and then again check out the lone single so far that's available on this new album. And both of them are utilizing a little bit of radio feedback or radio stuff.
I thought that was sick
also too. Reminds us of another Chicago artist, Hallie Palumbo. Some of the stuff that she's done as well lingers in that realm, but there's a marketed difference. I feel. I don't know. There's much more of like a glitch aspect to her work that seems to be tied to something else, like a lost ether, where yours again is tied to, spaces in a present moment or kind of, a tantalizing past. I don't know, but it's fascinating to hear. It's just great. We love the music.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really into the radio right now, like a little bit obsessively.
Yeah.
Which actually isn't a new thing. I remember being a kid and like listening to radios and like there's just something really magical about the physicality of it.
Yeah, that's why we do it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
And again, like trying to work by myself. It's something to respond to. It's something, there's an element of chance. There's an element of like, I don't know what I'm going to find here.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. Yeah.
In a way, if I'm playing the cello by myself, I am trying to discover, but it's not that same feeling of like, I have anyone could say anything on the radio at any time.
Yeah.
Except for a few choice words, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
They will be censored. Are there choice stations or kind of things that it's like, well, I'm going to turn on the radio here and possibly sample something? Is there like a white whale even that you'd say you'd be looking for? Kind of.
I do love those moments when you turn to a station and someone is saying something really outlandish or a little soundbite.
Yeah.
That always is fun to me. I think there's a moment at the beginning of that performance where someone says something like, "It's a match made in heaven."
Really?
And I just got that moment. Which of course is just like that just happened.
It's like what are the odds like that? Yeah.
I do also gravitate toward the classical channel. Just because I think the soundscapes can be really cool, especially if you're like layering them with something that's really dissonant.
Yeah.
And that's my
I agree.
That's my home music, so to speak. So it's fun to play with it.
So do you just like listen to the radio too, like while you're just like chilling at home and stuff, or like I guess
honestly no. My former roommates, one of them is a baseball fan, and he used to listen to like baseball radio. Like
that's kind of cool, actually.
I feel like that's so deeply comforting.
Yeah, so actually.
Sometimes I think about Toby and want to put on the Mets.
Yeah,
not that I care about baseball at all, but
yeah, no, I get.
Shout out to Hobie, great name.
Yeah,
I also have worked with a Hobie, lovely individual. Seriously.
That's really cool. I also wanted to say too, like, in the liner notes as well for your new record, you talked about, or whoever wrote it, if you wrote it, you talked about, I guess like using field recordings to like, I guess like portray like a space or like, I don't know, play with space or something, but with like field recordings, kind of like bring your audience like into like where you're performing at. I just thought that was cool how you incorporated like space again. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Field recordings are really, I do think that they sort of place you in a space.
Mm-hmm.
I feel in general, I mean, now that we're talking about space again, I feel like, especially with music making, that I am sort of trying to create a space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's maybe more of an intuitive thing than something that I can explain. Like, well, what is the space?
Mm-hmm.
If I close my eyes and I picture music, it's more of a place than a timeline or
mm-hmm.
or even a color, or
Yeah.
I think especially with this record, which was made so much in my own house,
Mm-hmm.
in quarantine or in lockdown.
Yeah.
There was kind of a reaching out and trying to remember or pay attention to whatever spaces I could,
Mm-hmm.
sort of create spaces outside where I was. But also all the field recordings are from 2020.
Oh, wow. Really? Yeah. That's cool. So what kind of, I don't know, like, I guess just on the topic of field recordings, like, where are you usually recording at? Like,
I got a field recorder recently, like last year.
mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I'm doing field recording all this time, I should get a field recorder.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I still do the most of it on my phone.
Oh, do you? That's sick.
It just happens, I just hear something and then
you're like this.
I don't necessarily have my field recorder with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other day I was in the airport and the TSA agents were talking about like weird foods.
That's
and
cool.
They weren't even really talking about it. They were just like listing weird foods.
Yeah.
So I have this field recording of them just being like, pickles and ice cream.
That's honestly,
chocolate.
Yeah. That is such a great recording to capture. Like, wow, that is just like a very like good people watching moment too. I feel like if you're just like walking through TSA and you're kind of just like, what the hell are they talking about, dude?
What are you talking about?
This is what
yeah. It's a little bit like having a camera. Like, it's not.
It is. Yeah.
It makes you listen in a different way. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you take field recordings? Is that like a part of your practice?
I don't. No, I don't take field recordings, but I am an active people watcher, I guess. People watcher. I don't know. Me and my girlfriend just like to listen to people's conversations, I guess, like at like passing through, and it's like really interesting to just hear what people are talking about. And then, we'll like talk like, what do you think those people are up to? Like, how do you think their day's going? Just stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so fun to guess.
Yeah. Anyways.
I do not do any field recordings. I've been tempted to do something because Andrew Weathers put in one of his tapes like a list of kind of like music ideas just to give to anyone. And one of them was record the first 5 minutes of your morning. I don't have anything. I would use this cheap microphone right here or something. And I don't know what would come of it though. So
dude, that's
like
cool.
One limitation would be tied to my laptop, but I think it'd be very funny.
I think that would be really cool.
Would be great, actually.
You'd probably learn something about yourself.
For sure would. I'm just like thinking about my morning and I'm like, wow, I feel like my morning is so bland, but I feel like there's some good stuff going on. I don't know. That's cool.
Also the slight variations would probably become really interesting.
Yeah, seriously, that would be cool. Maybe I should start doing some field recording stuff. If I start just like recording stuff and I don't know,
I'll never stop.
Publish it somewhere, I'm going to have to be like, Lia Kohl inspired me to start recording things.
Yeah, credit where credit is due.
Yeah, exactly. The liner notes to a tape that nobody else will own, maybe one other person or something, it'll say Lia Kohl as an inspiration. So I guess that kind of like does it for the questions that like we had written up, but we do have like a couple, I guess, like fan or like listener questions or whatever.
Okay.
Do you want to take those?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll start off.
Okay.
I don't know who again this comes from. There's only one person I need to know who it comes from. But if you could choose an entirely unfamiliar instrument or medium to master, what would it be and why?
The saxophone.
Nice.
Because I love the saxophone.
Dude, I was actually we were talking with another person named Rob McGill yesterday, and I don't know, for some reason we were talking about this, and I was like, I would want to learn how to play the sax too. The sax is sick.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I was in
it's loud. I think also like the cello is not very loud.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of wanted to have an outlet that's just like.
You make it loud, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick Shirishi asked some questions. Yeah, dude, classic Patrick questions. He always asks the dopest questions. And
So cool.
yeah, they're always the best. So this one says, if you had to eat at one place for the rest of your life, would it be Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box? Or you have the choices between Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box, and what would you choose if you had to eat them for the rest of your life?
I don't think that I've ever been to Jack in the Box, but I used to go to Carl's Jr. with my grandparents.
Nice.
So probably Carl's Jr. I'll do a lot of barfing, honestly, but
Yeah.
I'll get used to it.
Yeah.
You can also go to Hardee's as a result of this. You are welcome at Hardee's location.
What is Hardee's?
It's Carl's Jr. on the other side of the Mississippi.
Oh, is it really? I did not.
Change the name. There's still a star though, right? It's
Yes.
like a smaller star.
It's the exact same logo, just says Hardee's.
Does it really? That's really funny. It's kind of like the Hellmann's and like whole Best Foods or something mayonnaise, where it's like just opposite sides of the Mississippi and you have like a different name for the same mayonnaise. Yeah.
Whoa.
You didn't know
That's
that?
wild. I didn't know that. I don't like mayonnaise.
Neither do I.
I think that's like maybe the only food that I don't like. Mayonnaise and Velveeta.
Understandable. This is very logical.
I honestly don't think I like Velveeta either. Yeah. Anyways.
I'm very committed to cheese. So fake cheese is like,
Oh, for sure. I'm not down for the faux cheese either. You know, it's disgusting that like my housemate in college would eat all the time was the Kraft American singles and like the individual plastics. That's disgusting, dude. That's not real cheese.
Plastic and plastic, man.
Literally, dude, it's plastic and plastic. What's your favorite cheese, by the way?
Ooh, I love a burrata.
I don't know if I've ever had that before.
It's like mozzarella, but it's like really soft inside. You can kind of like crack it open like an egg, and then it just spills out. And it's
really
and good. But I also like stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese?
I was on a tour in France just before the pandemic.
Nice.
And one of my tour mates, also a cellist, would just like enter the van every day with like a new cheese.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Like,
that's so cool.
If you say my favorite cheese, like my favorite cheese is like someone giving me a new cheese every day.
Yeah, that's
basically the answer to that question.
Sick. So I guess if you had to like go with like a flavor in cheese, what would be your favorite? I'm more of like a sharper cheese fan, if anything, I guess. I don't know. But it can't be too sharp, because if it's too sharp, then it's kind of like a really rich like chocolate or something, where it's like you can only have a little bit of it, you know, before it's like too overwhelming.
I like that though. I like a little bit.
I see.
Sharp.
See, you like when it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. That's cool. So we have another question from Patrick here. This one says, your first solo tape record is coming out. How did you approach it differently compared to others? We kind of talked about it a little bit, but I mean, I guess if you want to give a quick answer for Patrick.
Yes, for Patrick. Yeah.
Okay, quick for Patrick.
Step out of
I mean, I just approached it totally differently because I was just responding to myself and the world instead of to other people. I also, you're always a different person every year. So, and these years have been very particular.
Yeah.
So I was also responding to those times and
to the particularly particular times.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. There you go, Patrick. Thanks for asking these questions.
Wonderful, Patrick.
So this next one says, your fondest music related memory.
Oh, that's really hard to say. I do think that there's a moment that happens sometimes when I'm on stage and I feel totally unaware of time and even place, and I'm sort of just like reaching in the dark with music, like with sound and other people. Sorry, this is like maybe a little woo-woo.
No, that sounds cool. It almost sounds like dissociation, but with music. I guess. I don't know.
And I occasionally have this experience of total presence. I think that it's maybe similar to what people talk about when they talk about like quote unquote good meditation. Like if you're really meditating, that you reach a sort of a transcendent place.
Yeah.
Occasionally with improvisation that happens. And I know that's not a single moment, but it is a moment that reoccurs rarely and potently, and it's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't know, listening to people that we have on the show that like perform a lot of like improv and stuff, and like when we talk about it, It sounds so cool. And it really makes me wish I could like, I don't know, start improving again or something like that. Or just try improving. I don't know. It sounds fun. It just sounds really cool.
It's really fun.
And like,
and also like you can, because literally it's accessible to everybody.
It literally is. I want to get an instrument.
All you have
and
to do
it.
is listen.
Yeah.
And make any sound you want.
It sounds like so fun and like transcendent and just like freeing almost, you know?
Yeah.
I should do it.
You should do it.
So this next one says thoughts on the hit piece NFT thing.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
People stealing people's art is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I have to say about that. Don't steal people's art.
Yeah, that stuff was so weird. I got home from work and just started seeing everybody posting about that, including a lot of like local, like really small artists too. And I was just like, wow, that's
like
so
Macie
weird.
and I's record was up there, and I was like, who's buying NFTs of like weird string sound? Like I'm not saying our record is not good, but like,
yeah, the majority of people buying NFTs probably would not be interested in buying like, I don't know, weird music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, why is it there?
So leave us alone, but also leave anyone alone who's not giving you that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about NFTs, so I can't speak a lot to it, but it does seem like I have questions.
I don't really know too much. Yeah. I don't really know too much about NFTs either. But I just don't really understand how it's like, I'm just going to own this particular song and like nobody else is going to own it. So like, what's their goal with that? Because it's like, if you own an NFT of a song, it's like, yeah, great. So do so many other people when they bought it, you know, off of like Bandcamp or something like that. So it's like, what is the actual goal here? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should interview the creators of Hit Piece and ask them.
Also, Hit Piece, really? That's what you're going to call your website?
It's such a stupid website. Have you seen, dude, Dan Weich posted on his story yesterday a picture of like the creator of Hit Piece. And he looked like he would create Hit Piece. That was mean. I'm sorry.
No.
That was really mean.
I also just feel like the point of music is that it's ephemeral and time-based, and don't try to own stuff.
Exactly.
I think ownership in general is like kind of a problematic concept. Like, who's trying to own land? That's stupid. But you know, we don't have to go there.
No, I guess that's the thing about NFTs as well to me. It's just like, yeah, where that ownership or gatekeeping or any kind of principle that it's really hard to see.
It reminds me of that guy. Do you guys remember that Pharma Bro Martin Shkreli that bought that like
Pharma Bro,
like multi-$1,000 Wu-Tang Clan record, and he was like the only one that ever owned it? And it's like, why? What is the point of that? Like, why did you do that? You know?
I think if you have too much money that you don't know what to do with, that you just,
it's like, this is cool, I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Because it makes you feel like you're
important. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Shared it.
Those people never discovered DIY or music in general from that perspective.
It's true.
They need something more meaningful than owning that, I guess. I don't know where I'm going.
I hope,
You know?
I hope that for all of them.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that they one day discover something more meaningful. Anyways, Lia, I think that's about all we have in terms of our fan questions. Where can people keep up with all things Lia Kohl?
I have this record coming out on March 4th via Shinkoyo Artist Pool. So you can pre-order it on their Bandcamp.
Nice. I know I'm gonna.
And then my website, liakohl.com.
It's a really nice website, by the way. I suggest like anybody that is into cool looking websites, check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I designed it myself.
Did you really? Wow. How'd you learn such great web designing skills?
I am a very visual person, and I am also determined when trying to learn things. So
did you have to like teach yourself like how to like code any of that? Like, I don't really know how that works. Do they make it simple so you can just like...
Not much. They make it pretty simple. I used Cargo. But there's a little bit of Googling that I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
The internet is a rich place.
The internet is a rich place if you
want to learn stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, we have actually one more question that I got to ask you, and it's kind of a big one. It's like the biggest one of the show, and it throws everybody off. So I hope you're ready for it.
Okay.
Okay. Maddie, do you want to say it or you want me to say it?
I can do it.
Okay. Yeah. Maddie always lays out the good scenarios.
So after this interview, Leah, you decide, this has been great, mission accomplished. I'm going down to the local cheese shop. And you get there. Oh my God, though, the cheese shop has been overrun by rats and they're getting into all the burrata balls. And they mistook you for a burrata ball. And now a rat's going to jump in your mouth. Is it going to be in the head? Or is it going to be the rat's going to jump butt first? And why?
I think rats are smart.
Rats are very smart, actually.
And I think that
I know.
Generally jumping head first is smarter, because then you can then you can see where you're going.
Yeah.
We had a rat in our house actually last week.
A Chicago rat?
A Chicago rat.
That's terrifying.
It was small for a rat, but it was definitely a rat, not a mouse.
Yeah.
And
did you look it in the eyes?
No.
Okay.
Do not.
Don't look in the eyes of a rat. But I feel that if it had jumped into my mouth, it would have jumped head first.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you guys do with the rat, by the way?
It's gone. I don't know. Maybe it's dead.
How is it gone? Did you guys have to get an exterminator?
There was an exterminator who came. Eric.
Poor rat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
But we haven't seen the dead rat, so I don't actually know.
Well, hopefully he's just living in the sewers with the Ninja Turtles or something like that.
So.
I
hope it's in rat, having a good rat hang away from our apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go head first. That's awesome. I think that personally, I would take the rat butt first and I would pet it on the head and put it underneath my hat and cook some 5-star meals Ratatouille style.
I feel also head first, then it could do a little teeth cleaning for me, maybe.
That's true. What if he was a dentist rat?
Dentist rat. I can see that for a rat.
Was that song Decent Dentist about the dentist rat?
We chose a lot of our track titles by various weird signs that we'd seen.
Ooh.
And you saw one that said Decent Dentist?
I think actually Decent Dentist was one that somebody made up.
Okay.
But everything else is a real sign. Hot Big was the sign that I saw.
What an interesting sign. I wonder.
It said Hot Big $1.99 and then a picture of a hamburger.
Okay,
so I guess the implication is Hot Big hamburger.
Yeah, I was for some reason picturing a hot dog or something. Yeah.
Hot Big hot dog.
Yeah, Hot Big.
You kind of mumble. It sounds the same.
Hot Big hot dog. Yeah. Hot dog.
Hot Big. Way too well.
All right. Well, I think that's about all we have for this show. Thanks for tuning into TBD here on KCSB FM 91.9 every Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. and NetNet Radio every Saturday, 4 p.m. This has been Lia Kohl. Thanks for being on the show, Lia.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure.